computer. So Ajitesh, thank you so much for taking your time out to do this today, and a big congratulations on your 730. So how does it feel to have that 730 finally in your hands?
Hi Rashmi, thank you. Thank you so much. It feels great, after you have spent some time working towards your goal and after you have achieved it, it definitely feels great.
Yeah, I think it,
Finally, a moment of satisfaction.
yes, and all the more sweeter because of those few struggles that you had to go through. We will come to that towards the end.
Yeah,
But yeah, I know it was a day of, utter happiness, I'm sure, when the score
yeah,
finally got confirmed. Yeah,
yeah. Even
uh,
sounded sweeter.
I know, I know. So, Ajitesh, you are a practicing CA, right?
hmm
And so, what made you look at GMAT? So, what was that switch that motivated you to take the GMAT and look at, international MBAs or those kind of things?
Yeah, sure. So, although I'm a practicing chartered accountant, I work in asset management,
Mm-hmm.
like when I started working in industry, after some time, I felt that you definitely need a global network. You need an
Mm-hmm.
influential network. And, I never wanted to just sort of restrict myself to India. Even
Mm-hmm.
if I want to start a fund a few years down the line, I wanted to be more global. So I figured it out pretty early that yes, you definitely need an MBA to,
Mm-hmm.
work towards that goal, to achieve that network, to achieve that, so that people can take you seriously at a more global level.
Mm-hmm.
So that motivated me towards MBA, and of course, GMAT is a necessary step. So
Mm-hmm.
there I was.
Okay. And how has your GMAT journey been as in from the time you
My,
decided to to this date?
you know very well, my GMAT journey has been, one of a kind, I would say, definitely. So I when I started, it was, I guess, 2 months ago. And I obviously, like everyone starts, you start by giving a mock test on the official site and then you sort of try to build upon it. So I took 2 months and I did achieve a 710 in my previous attempt. And then I was looking for, how can I improve this? So I obviously, ventured towards e-GMAT. I heard about you guys from one of my friends. So I got on board with you guys. And, it helped me improve to my score of 730. And the terrific part was, I guess, in 10 days, maybe, or 12 days, that
Yes.
was the best part of it.
Yeah. So I know that you came on board the Last Mile Push program, and when you came
Mhm.
on board, when you signed the pledge, it was 31st of August, and you were between 700, 710, that kind of a score. And
Mhm.
in you took your test when 11th of September.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
a 30-point jump in that,
yeah. Mm.
specific 10, 11 days. That is tremendous. So kudos to you and
Thank
a
you.
big congratulations for that. So can you tell me how that journey has been? How, you know, before you came on board the program, before that, or generally how this journey has been? Because I think it's more of a verbal transformation that you saw with a bit of quant also added in, wherein you did spend some time identifying the rough areas there and, smoothing in that. So can you please explain how that journey has been?
Yeah, sure. So, I think after a score of 700 or maybe 710, you have to start figuring out where are you getting your things wrong. Because,
Mm-hmm.
you have reached a certain level, and after that, it is more about, like you said, you have to just sharpen your skills. You have to find those rough edges. So, when I got on board with e-GMAT, I think you guys reached me for the LMP, and that was just thank you so much for doing that. So basically, I knew, for the quant section, I knew where I was weak. So I definitely just, jumped right into it where I was weak. The modules were perfect. I got what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And for the verbal section, of course, like, there's something known as the meaning approach. I think
Yes.
that's what you guys call it, right? That is terrific. That no one teaches you that in school or colleges. This is the first time I came across, and it works. I'm telling you, it works wonderfully
Mm-hmm.
well. So So LMP helps you in a way that, I was very, very short on time. Like you said, I barely had 10 days, and those were even like 5 complete days. I had to write my essays and everything. So
Yes.
getting a 20 point and 30 point jump is entirely thanks to you guys, building that, crossing that 720 threshold was golden for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, LMP, the thing I like about LMP is basically you were able to figure out where I was lacking in,
Mm-hmm.
even choosing the topics I was lacking in. I remember, um, before joining in, I remember one particular instance, if I may share, bold-faced questions. Those
Yes.
are, I tell you not, I tell you, people fear those questions. People really
Yes.
fear those bold-faced questions. And there was this video of, I think, Harsha,
Yes.
perfect video, and I can tell you I want to take all those bold faced questions heads on now. So
Yeah.
the thing, figuring out where exactly you are lacking, that is what LMP is made for,
Uh-huh.
pushing you in that, the stuff where you're lacking, pushing you towards that. That's the best part of it.
Mhm. Yes, I remember during our previous conversation, you did mention after that you haven't got a single bold-faced question wrong. Am
No,
I
no,
right?
I haven't. Yeah, I used to get them all wrong, and now I have them all right.
Yeah, I'll make sure I pass on the message to Harsha.
Sure, you would love that.
Yeah. So, Ajitesh, can you tell me, as in, how did that verbal transformation happen? Because I know you have gone through, despite starting out at a higher ability, you went through all the files. You went through master comprehension, you did sentence correction, you did CR, you did RC, right? You
Mhm.
did not stop at, oh, I have a higher ability here. Let me not, you actually immersed yourself. You made the technique a part of you and you use that to build your verbal ability, right?
Mhm.
So can you
Yeah.
describe a little bit of that journey?
Yeah, sure. So I'll break it into parts for like let's say starting with reading comprehension. There's something I think again Harsha is the one who taught me that. So Harsha says you have to sort of I always feared those essays which were not from my background.
Uh-huh.
I'm a chartered accountant, so I'm really comfortable with essays which are in finance
Mm-hmm.
or business. But I feared the essays which were, let's say, on philosophy or health or something. So he told, like he just teaches you how to read an essay.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I don't think anyone ever teaches you that. So that really helps you, like especially in those essays when you know that this essay is out of your comfort zone, scoring in those essays. So yeah, I knew, like everyone thinks that we are good at reading comprehensions. After all, what it is, you just need to read a para and answer a few
Yeah.
questions. No, that is not it. The point is you need to, pre-think stuff. They'll teach you how to do that. You need to
Mm-hmm.
pre-think stuff. You need to pause, go through the entire thing in your mind, what has happened till that point. All those entry cases, Harsha is going to teach you that over the whatever other
The
GMAT instructors.
course. Yeah.
Yeah. So reading comprehension went something like that. And coming to sentence correction, yeah, I'm telling you, you guys have the golden thing there, the pre-thinking thing and the
The
meaning
meaning
analysis.
based. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can only get a limited number of questions right on the basis of, let's say, grammatical terminology and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But after a point, especially in the hard questions,
Yeah.
especially when you need a jump from the 700 to 730 and above level, especially when you need that jump, you need to get on board with the meaning analysis and
Mm-hmm.
like the other part of it. So
Mm-hmm.
that is where it helped me a lot. So when I saw meaning analysis, I knew, this is where I lack. This is
Mm-hmm.
something I definitely need because I'm, let's say I'm already starting with a fairly decent level of my grammar.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's focus on this because this is how you get the toughest questions right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And critical reasoning is honestly something I always struggled at, never good
Mm-hmm.
at it. But like I told you, like I just gave you an example of boldface. Terrific. Reading, he tells you how to, in what kind of questions you want to focus on the options and what kind of questions you want to eliminate options and what kind of
Mm-hmm.
questions you want to focus more on the stimuli of the question. So that sort of stuff, like you never know, like you never know until you sort of jump into how good you guys are,
Yeah.
right? So that sort of,
So I think over this conversation, I think you have given a lot of credit to us, but I think a lot of credit to is due to you too. Because as I said, you did not let go. You did not say that I am sort of starting out at a 700, 710. So let
Mm,
me, skip files. Let me not, you know, do this particular thing. Maybe I'm good at it. Let me skip steps. You did not do that. You did
yeah,
whatever you did diligently, right?
yeah,
Even that 10-day transformation that happened is because you did follow all the plans and you.
yeah. You have to believe the process.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it takes a lot of grit and determination to believe the process, trust in it,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to
yeah.
benefit out of
Because
it.
you are eventually gonna see the results later on. You're not gonna see the results right heads on. So you have to believe the process. Yeah, this will fetch me the results I want.
Yeah. So, Ajitesh, can you tell me? I know this was a short journey, right? But
Yeah.
I do remember that the last few days were crucial too, as in we did not have time to take too many mocks. I think we took
Mm,
one mock, which
yeah.
one or two mocks at the most, right? So, do you think taking more mocks would have helped you perform better, or this was all the practice that you needed?
No, taking more mocks is always beneficial. It is just, it's something really specific to my case because I didn't have a lot of time. So I had to, you get your hands upon what you have, what sort of things are available. I would say definitely whosoever is preparing, give as many mocks as you can because, it's what's gonna tell you how the real environment feels like, how the, when the clock is ticking and there's a time pressure on your head, what it feels like. So it was something specific to my case. I could only give one or two, but I would always suggest give as many mocks as you can.
Okay, but here maybe mocks, and also you've taken the mocks, the kind of plans that were shared, right? We There is a lot of test readiness also built in.
Sorry, there's a lot of.
Lot of test readiness quizzes also built
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
which allows you to sort of manage your time, and shorter quizzes built into a larger mock. So with that kind of a plan, do you still think we need to take a lot of mocks?
Yeah, it helps, but like it definitely helps. Like I think from the day one when you start after you're done with your concepts, it is I think it is kudos to you that you make sure that every quiz of yours is timed. People don't realize the significance of that, but when the timer is on your head, it changes a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, quizzes. I think I took all the quizzes in a timed fashion, so that
Yes.
helps. But again, a certain number of mocks. I think you guys are provided with 5 mocks, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. So
Yes.
I think yeah, 5 or 6 mocks.
Yeah.
That's a fairly sufficient number of mocks.
Yeah. Sure. So can you tell me, Ajitesh, how do you sort of handle the nerves? There was a lot at stake here. So how were
Mhm.
your last few days? How did you overcome the anxiety, or, manage the nerves and go and give it your all on the test date?
Yeah, that's a nice question. So it is you have to believe. You have to believe that what you have studied till now and what the process you have gone through, the journey you have been through, it's going to work out. So you can do a few practical things such as you want to do it on the same laptop you are going to give it. I did it online, so I use the same laptop. You want to give it at the same time you actually want to give the real exam at. Give it in the same environment. Let's say your room and your desk and everything, right? So you can do practical things like that, of course, but it is more about you have to believe yourself that whatever you have done till now,
Mm-hmm.
whatever your mock tests have showed you till now, is it's going to happen in real life. So apart from the practical things, it is about you have to believe whatever the journey I've been through, it's going to work out.
Okay.
So, and in the last days, you should really focus upon revising stuff because you have been through a lot. Like you have been through cementing quizzes, you have been through like let's say mock tests, you have been through your modules and everything. So give sort of give yourself time to revise each and everything because
Mm-hmm.
you need to get it all together on the D day. It's not going to be worth it if it's not all together on the D day. So
Yeah.
give yourself time to revise, let yourself calm down. If you have been working like 10 hours a day, shorten up, live a few days, then give the exam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it all worked out in the end,
Yeah.
right? But I think we cannot not talk about what happened, the unthinkable thing that happened, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got your score, and then I let you explain what happened.
Yeah, so I got my score. Actually, you get the score right after you finish
Yes.
the exam. So I came out of my room happy, really happy, and I even celebrated that night. And like I think 3 days down the line, I get the email. It's a very it's in a very movie sort of uh, thing. So 3 days down the line, I get an email at almost 11 at night that your score has been cancelled due to some XYZ issues, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, this just took a lot away from
Yeah, I'm
me.
sure.
So that was that was one hell of a moment. I couldn't
Uh-huh.
sleep the entire night. They sent the mail at 11. I couldn't sleep the entire night. So what I did was I discussed it with my parents and I immediately got in touch with you guys. And thanks to you, you could help me with your appeal. So I knew I had to appeal because I did all the things right, whatever was needed from me by the proctor or by the exam guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to you. Just I think you guys replied to me within an hour. What I need to do. So all the points, how we are going to go through the appeal, what
Mm-hmm.
we can tell them. So thanks to you for all that stuff. I means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And that is you guys going beyond what you were supposed to do, to help me out. So I wrote them my email that this is what happened, this is why I
Mm-hmm.
think, this is my previous score, because I was coming already from a good enough score to 730. So I told them about it. We discussed all entire this thing in its entirety. So I told them this is what my mock tests have been looking like. So I reached out to them, and again they took a lot many days to reply. And those were like, so I think I got my result on 22nd or maybe 23rd. I'm not sure with the date,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Sunday.
so but those 8 days when they didn't reply to me, those were, well in a moment. And it was just thanks to you for helping me out with that appeal,
Yeah. That is.
the reasoning you guys gave me to present to them. I think that is what, made this go through.
See, for us, each student's success is of utmost importance, and we are here to help you, right?
Yeah, and you mean it. That means so much to me.
Always here. So, Ajitesh, that is why we said the success is all the more sweeter because it was taken away and then given back
Yeah,
again,
it was given
right?
back to me. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But wonderful. I think what you achieved, I know in the last 10, 11 days, that tremendous jump in your scores and just the grit and the determination with which you went through the plans, made the 730 possible is commendable. I really want to
Yeah,
congratulate you on that.
thank you.
So,
Thank you so
do you
much.
have any tips that you would want to share to the GMAT aspirants out there? Maybe things that one has to do, maybe the kind of mistakes that one could avoid. Any, you know, 3, 4 things that you would want to share with the other
Yeah,
aspirants out there.
sure. So one thing I would definitely, want everyone to do is you need to realize where you made mistakes. I was short on time, so I would still openly admit it. I didn't do it as much as it was required, but you should even analyze how you get your questions right, because that is way more important. You have to make sure that the way your mind thought about a particular question is right, because there can be times, because it's an MCQ question, right? So there can be times when your entire thinking process was flawed and you still get the question right. So you don't want that to happen in your real exam. So you want to make sure that you have thought each and every question through,
Mm-hmm.
why it happened, why you got it wrong, why you get it right. Right. And I think it is also about you have to believe the process. You can take your time selecting whoever
Mm-hmm.
you are trying to get on board with. But let's say I got on board with GMAT, e-GMAT. So you have to believe in. You have to believe after that. You have to leave that thought out of your mind that what's going to happen. No, you have to believe the process. That yes, let's say the meaning analysis or the pre-thinking. Yes, it's going to work. You have to believe it. So after time, you have to do that. And yeah, of course, like the things I said, the certain things you want to keep in your mind before the exam, the environment, the laptops, the
Mm-hmm.
desk, you can do that. And there's one thing that's a very practical thing to do. And I read it somewhere else, so I would share it with everyone who's watching this. You should use your fingers in exam, For verbal section, there are 5 options and there are 5 fingers. So luckily, so you use these 5 fingers as option A, B, C, D, E, and it really helps. It does wonders. So use
Mm-hmm.
that to eliminate options, to to scroll through options.
So
That's
that
a
you
very
don't
practical thing.
click the wrong option by
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah, because let's say you read through option A and you eliminated it, then you wanna put this thumb down so that you remember that you eliminated
Mm-hmm.
option A,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that really helps. That it looks a very silly thing to do, but trust me, it helps.
Okay. Wonderful. So amazing journey and
Yeah,
congratulations on your score.
thank
And I hope to see you in the cobble streets of Oxford one of these
you.
days.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Looking forward.
wish you all the very best. And
Thank
yeah,
you,
so all the very best for your future endeavors. Great
thank you,
speaking
thank
to
you,
you. Bye bye.
thank you, Vishnu. Bye.